because we have this idea far too often that this is sort of a waste of our time, planet Earth. A lot of our doctrines have rotated around, this is just something we do, but it's not the real us, and so as fast as we can get out of here, the better we are. In fact, how many of you realize a lot of our songbook theology growing up was designed around some form of new Gnosticism? Gnosticism, by the way, it's not too difficult for you to understand. Gnosticism was an idea in the early church that the literal material was not real. The real thing was spiritual. And the offshoot of that doctrine said Jesus didn't really come in the flesh. The Spirit of Christ was here, but not Jesus really in the flesh. I think that's what John's countering in 1 John 1 when he says we touched him, we handled him, he was real. There's a new kind of Gnosticism in the church now in which the earth and everything we're doing is sort of second best. The real deal is heaven. And so who cares what happens to earth while we're here? To hell with earth. This is the idea a lot of people have, because that's where they're going anyway. And who cares how much we take care of it, how much we tend it, because we're out of here. And our songbook theology taught us stuff like, this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. Remember that? My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. And then, so we had the idea that you should not feel at home in this world. In fact, you should just almost hate the material world in an excitement to get to the immaterial world. And what that has done is create an environment in the church community that I call escapism theology, where we can't wait to get out of a planet we consider doomed. And that the faster it's doomed, the better off we are. In fact, we even embrace bad news when we see it on the news, because bad news means we're getting closer to getting out of here. And hopefully, if it gets worse, we'll get out faster. You can tell something can't be right when a kingdom full of the spirit and nature of Christ is excited about the destruction of people and a planet. Something doesn't feel like the Garden of Eden, which is what God put man in to tend, to keep, and to rule over, and then we lost it. And I do not believe that earth is progressively getting better towards some ultimate day. I believe that earth can get better and will get better, and the times are getting better as long as the kingdom is spread. Wherever the kingdom extends to, redemption occurs. So let me say it this way. What we do not need an evolution towards higher consciousness. Man is not on an upward spiral to getting smarter, to getting better, to getting kinder, to getting more loving. It doesn't work that way. Sin never spirals upward. Man needs a new creation. We need redeemed. We have exchanged the life of God for the life of mortality. You can thank Adam, who had the life of God in the garden. And we're going to use Adam more than once today for an illustration. Adam had the life of God. He's living in the Garden of Eden. The very word in his tongue meant paradise. Eden, the Garden of Paradise. And everywhere he looks, everything is provided for him. Now, God told him, if you eat from that tree, you shall surely die. He ate from that tree. He didn't fall over dead. So the conclusion is God's a liar. No, the conclusion is God looks at life differently than we do. Adam lived past eating the tree, but Adam didn't get to live in the garden past eating the tree. So what did God consider dying? Dying to this life. Dying to the life of garden perfection. Now you have to live outside the garden, and you have to work to come into relationship with me. Before, we were in relationship automatically. So in the garden, man forfeited the life of God. Jesus came to give you the life of God again. He didn't come so you'd live to be 200. He didn't come so that you would never be sick, that you would never have disease, although I believe those are evidences of the covenant. But what did he really come for? To take heaven and move it down inside of man who had lost that in the garden. What we forfeited, we get back in Jesus because Christ has really exchanged his life for ours.